is called Act 703, and it's a revision of the law of 1986. I think part of the reason for reviewing it was just the sheer practice of using the law and what it meant not only for investors but also for the communities. And so part of the revision is to make sure that investors are more responsive to some of the needs of the communities. If you take the land use, at first compensation was to be paid to only people whose crops had been impacted. But now one of the revisions is that even if somebody has fallow land and it falls within your concession, you compensate them for the loss of use of that land. It's become more friendly. It used to be friendly, but I think it's more friendly and less of a burden also to the communities.
And how has the investor community responded to the revised codes?
The investment community, through the Chamber of Mines, have built a very healthy, robust and proactive relationship with the Minerals Commission, which is the regulator. So we are in constant discussions with them in terms of how the law affects the investment community. One of the key areas, for example, is this aspect of localization of human resource. And we've been working with the Minerals Commission as to what is realistic, what should be done over a period, some transitional periods that we should have before the changes come through. And that is working quite well.
And when it comes to the state's involvement, what exactly is the state's involvement in private sector mining in Ghana?
Because the state owns the minerals, you know, the Constitution gives the state ownership of the minerals, you know, so it doesn't matter who has the surface rights. Once anything is found under your land and the state considers it worthy of exploitation, then the state takes over. In order for the state to still stand in for the people of Ghana, the state ascribes to itself a 10% free carried interest. So the state is owner in the mine of 10%, even though it doesn't put any money in. But what it means is that the state gets dividends when dividends are declared. In addition to that, the state gets royalties that are paid to it. Used to be quarterly, now we have to pay it monthly just to shore up the state's cash flow issues.
I know that Ghana is really pushing small-scale mining.
The law, or the Act 703, makes room for small-scale mining, and that is to be done really by Ghanaians. And I think the tenements they get are 25 acres, and it's not supposed to be foreign direct investor related. I think the small-scale miners may have partnerships also, but even a JV is not allowed, so that Ghana can grow its De Beers and gold fields and AngloGold Ashanti over time.
What percentage of Ghana would you say, in your opinion, is still considered to be virgin mining territory?
Well, I won't be able to give you a percentage, but what I can say is that Minerals Commission has done an airborne geophysical study and has actually found that the eastern part of the country, which had not been surveyed over a long period, has quite some interesting minerals, including even copper, gold, a bit of zinc, I think even traces of uranium. But I think that the uranium would have to be explored further.
Let's take a look at mining news coming out of Ghana. We've got Perseus Mining, which has actually begun pre-strip mining in Ghana's central Ashanti, and also Newmont Mining that's making headlines. What other sort of corporate big mining stories are currently taking place in Ghana?
Adamos Mining, which is in the western region, pretty close to where the oil fields are. Not so, of course, the oil field is offshore, but it is in that region. And then there is Owerri Mines, which is also in the eastern region. There is Central African Gold, now called Noble, that is also found quite a good measure of gold in the Bibiani area and will be coming on stream quite soon.
When we think of Ghana, we often think of gold being the primary commodity, but I know that there are other resources that are making headlines when it comes to mining in your country.
I know Ghana is known more for its gold than its other minerals, but I think government is trying to diversify so that it will still mine gold, but it will mine these other minerals as well.
What are some of the challenges that you face when it comes to illegal mining in Ghana?
The price of gold has really sent out a lot of carpetbaggers who would do anything. Unfortunately, it's being driven by foreigners who have an inordinate appetite for getting gold without going through due process. And that's quite a challenge.